Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today's date is the 6th of June, 2025. There's a lot going on and a lot of things to cover in a short bit of time, especially when you're dealing with New York City homeless shelter system. There seems to be no accountability in the shelter system whatsoever. And accountability is something that we are all going through here in this nation. And so, let's get into it. The shelter system. One of the things that they're proposing is to bring back sanctions. And so, I got a chance to be part of that meeting, and I tell you, it just, to me, really doesn't make any sense of sanctions. Because sanctions, when you sanction people out the shelter, it just puts them in a survival mode on the street where they are now in a survival mode. Then they go and start building communities on the street. And everybody knows that sweeps right now around this nation here in the United States, sweeps are very harmful to people, right? And a lot of times people get their paperwork thrown away, birth certificates, marriage license, social security card. You know, these things, ladies and gentlemen, you need to be able to handle your business, not just in New York, but around the country. Right? And you know, these, when you put people in situations like this where you're kicking them out, well, the Department of Homeless Service, DHS, claims that they are going to try everything in their power to not kick people out of the shelter, right? There's really, people are not getting the services that they need. People are not getting the benefits that they need to be able to, you know, maintain. You have people that's sick, ladies and gentlemen. So let's listen to a short recording on accountability right here. It's really a shame, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to listen in.
Get to that point, we've done something wrong, right? There absolutely are there's oversight, and Marie, correct me if I'm wrong, fair hearing rights, absolutely. Right, this is not something that we are entering into lightly at any point, and the goal is really to make sure that along the continuum, DHS providers and the people living in shelter, that this is a shared accountability goal that we are focusing on connecting people to resources and permanent housing. But I want to stop and allow my colleagues to chime in with details that I might have left out.
I just feel like, sorry, Nyla had a question that responds directly to what you were saying. I don't know if Nyla, if you want to ask your question, because we did hear the agency say that at the hearing, and we have a follow-up question.
Sure.
Yes. Since you mentioned that the accountability is on the shelter provider, so why are the penalties on the shelter residents as far as being, displaced out of the shelters? Why can't there be another approach on holding shelter providers accountable for as being a ratio of how many shelter clients is in the shelter versus how many let's say workers in the shelter, where that everyone can get support for as housing needs and housing opportunities? Why that approach couldn't be met and a decision based on shelter accountability?
Right. So I think it's a dual approach. So if a provider...
We're going to stop right there, ladies and gentlemen. You can't make this stuff up. And unfortunately, right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of time. And so it seems like, wow, maybe I might have to have a part 1 and part 2 or 3. But thanks for listening. This is Marcus More Media, and I'm going to call this one the Shelter Circus. Peace. Marcus Moore.